Islam. The principles of kalama, namaz, fasting, hajj and zakat are in the heart of Bangladeshi Muslims. There is no ethical entity of lyrical dance. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Much thanks to the Almighty.
গুরুত্বপূর্ণ এবং খুব ওজনধারী সম্মানিত একটা মাহফিলে আমি দাঁড়িয়ে দুটি কথা বলবো কোনোদিন আমার কল্পনা ছিল না। আমি ইংরেজিতে ওরে প্রাণার বাসে না কান্দে ফাতিমা ওরে প্রাণার বাসে না সকালে কি আসে ইমান আতো এলো না আরে আতো এলো না সবে তোর মুখ চলিয়া গেছে ও মায়া মায় জানে সন্তানে হাসান ও কি হুসেন রে ডাকে ও বাগি এই হইল মর্সিয়া আর জারি সুখ হইল এরকম আরে সাইনারে খায় ঠিক পানি ইমাম বংশ শহীদ হইয়া যায় পানি 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 রে বইলা কান্দিতে লাগিল আগর সে কাটিয়ারে মৌলা জানিতে পারিল এই পানি বিনে গে মনসে ফজন দইয়ার এই দুনিয়ার ভিতরে পানি না দেখাবো আর পানিও সুগে তেরে হুসেন কাতর হইয়া গেল ফয়রাতের কুলের হুসেন পানি খাইতে গেল দুই হাতে কইরা গো পানি সামনেতে নিল ওরে পর্যন্ত ইয়ারের বাচ্চারে মনে কইয়া গেল
Thank you, our living legend, the live event Sheikh Marina, okay? That is in Jari. And
he's Shia.
Yeah, just Shia.
He's Sunni.
He's a Sunni. Really? Now I was confused. He is Sunni. Okay. In fact, there is no barrier between Sunni and Shia, Hindu, or man above all. Shabar upore manush shuddho. Okay. I know that the conference is going on. It is a composite presidential form. I am not a lone voice. That is the pluralism she referred to. Okay. So now we have come to the conclusion of all our program papers. Okay. Andu to make his comments not briefly, as much time he may once they can get it, but we have to remember that by 2 we have to close the session. He is well aware of everything. I am not prompt anything. Professor Jawaharlal Andu.
It is working now. I won't take much time because I find it very interesting, this session. I thank my friend for putting these papers together in this session. I have a feeling that actually if I talk about one paper, I will be talking automatically about all the 3 papers. It's so clear. So it was easier for me. And I'm happy that it was very well planned session, that all the papers were sharing the same theme. One of the greatest points which I feel I have learned here is, again on the theoretical level, papers are very descriptive. And the first paper, Christina Nagel's paper on the Yatra, although she has studied it very nicely in a local condition, she did not extend the possibilities of her observations to other. Yatra is a national phenomenon in India. It's going from down south and everywhere. So it will be very difficult for sometimes to find Yatra in an isolated situation, because then it will not give you the concept and the kinds of things you are looking for that, unless you study and relate it with other things. But at the same time, I will again come back while discussing your points to the paper on the very good theme. You started the whole thing on what you call it, I forgot the word you used. You used this, Madam, in your paper I'm talking about, you used the word, what is it? Pullulars. Yeah, that's very well, that's correct. Yeah, this leads to us to think very seriously about certain theoretical issues, and then the third paper also is touching those things. I'm so glad to be here. One of the things which I would really like to tell all the three paper visitors here, that this is, to me it seems Bangladesh is a very great laboratory of testing what will be the status of oral tradition, even under the most extreme conditions. Does it stay in others like many other places, in the Indian Ocean and other places? I find that one of the things that they survive and they change, because we allowed them to change. A rigid situation in India, we have the case of the language Sanskrit, very important. I have a feeling some of you may be thinking that you are not reaching the original form. In fact, I would like to assure you, every version you generate is original. And it is that generation of the form, the creation of the version, as in your paper, in your presentation, that has here, gives a very clear-cut justification of that. I have not believed in my life. You know, if you go into the details of the conflict of Karbala, this is a war between the Sunnis and the non-Sunnis. Am I right? If I am wrong, you should correct me.
No.
It's the Shia and Sunni joined together in mourning of this whole thing. But Bangladesh, it is happening. You have the example here, you have the film here. So why it has happened? Because we allowed it. Somebody allowed it to happen, and that's why the forum allowed. If we had been constructive, if we have not allowed this to happen, it would have perhaps died. This forum would have died. Again, I would like to say, Bangladesh is historically created this platform for pluralism. You have all kinds of people, you have all kinds of language, you have all kinds of systems. You have suffered also, there has been lots of conflict. Not that religion has not played its own role in Bangladesh. Yes, it has. There have been conflicts. You have to separate from those things and develop your own identity and have a new nation. Now the question is that I have a feeling that I am benefited by this. I am not going to give any judgment on your paper. They are excellent. Even I cannot do such good papers. But we have allowed this to happen. We have got lots of evidences that whenever there were problems of language and dialect and certain things, the form died. Many forms of folklore have died, and they die every day if you don't allow them to exist. Bangladesh is a laboratory, and I think you should have many more international business conferences so that other people who have suffered, who have not allowed these forms to exist, they learn the lesson how Bangladesh, in spite of all kinds of problems, in spite of historical problems, ethnicity, in spite of poverty sometimes, in spite of they suffered droughts and all kinds of things, they have allowed these forms. I would like to salute all of you for these three papers, because I do not find it is very important for me, Mr. Chairman, to discuss each paper separately. They are all excellent papers. I am looking for the running theme in three papers. That is more important, discovery for me, from a theoretical point of view, that how is it? I never believed it can be such liberal pluralism here. I am not from Kashmir and I know we do not have this kind of conditioning there. It has not happened. But you have, I would have expected, being a man from Kashmir, that by the time I reach Dhaka, all these problems must have died. There must be nothing there. But everything is intact. Everything is going to original. There is no originalness needed. It's only to satisfy you. In fact, when something splits, I can show you here, if I put a drop of water on the paper, you have to tell me which drop is the original and which is not original. All are original. All these forms are original. So keep it going on, and thank you very much for your excellent presentation. Being a foreigner, you have done such a wonderful job. It's a great thing. If I go to Sweden and start working on some form, I will fail. But you have done it. You have done it very well. And thanks to you. And thanks to Sana, who's my friend. I met him in Agra. Sometime back I was not well, but he was a great help there also. He's a very jolly fellow, and your presentation is excellent. You must read always in English, everywhere, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. There is nothing left for chairperson because occasionally I have remarked to you 1 to 2 minutes only for questions. No, he's not there. Is he there? Okay, he is not. Okay, for some comments. I think you are very attentive.
As impolite, but I was very struck and very moved by Lubna Mariam's presentation, particularly about the relationship between pluralism and agency. And immediately after, we saw an example of the absence by not allowing the other gentleman to speak in his native language, even though 95% of the people in the room speak Bangla. We deprived him of agency to present his entire paper. And this illustrated to me the and so the fact that everything defaults into English still, I think illustrates that we all have work to do among ourselves in, and I'm certainly I'm not pointing a finger, I'm certainly as guilty of this as anyone. We all have work to do in developing tolerance of pluralism in our own work and in our own spheres of academic research. And this translates at all social sectors in academic work as well as in collaborations with the field. It's probably not the comment or not the level of comment that you were asking for, but I was really struck by that, and I think one of the powerful themes that I take away from this paper is that relationship. The other thing I would like to say is also that I attended a folk drama in Chennai. Professor Muthu Kumaraswamy arranged that I could attend one of these in a Dalit community, Dalit neighborhood, where many of the people had actually converted to Christianity 1 or 2 generations before, but still lived within the same slum community because they were coming from the same villages that had relocated into urban Chennai. And the parallels, the respect of the kind of drama, the way that there's syncretism and mutual respect across the religions, the male and female roles, although this particular company had some female actors as well as male actors, the participation of women in the audience. It was really very striking, different religious synchronicity, but still that same wonderful sense of why would I not do something that is good, whatever the tradition, whatever the language.
Thank you very much.
Not question, but I have an observation on Professor Krishna. The second one is, you see, for deterioration of Yatra tradition in Bangladesh, you see, from our government during the British regime, we have an act, 1936 Yatra Acts. This very act is helping us to deteriorate this indigenous culture. The local government officials are just they are controlling this tradition. And till today, that act is prevailing in the society, in our nation. So you must see that act. This very act is very, we can say, is liable for this tradition's deterioration. I hope you must see the history records of these two comments. Thank you very much.
May I ask?
Yes.
And whole Yatra started as there are historians. This I already told, and I still continue to say that. Because I've been working about 20 years here about Yatra also. And what you're talking about actually, what I wanted, maybe I didn't make myself clear. What I wanted to say, also in some kind of answer to Lubna, I fully agree with you. I'm totally passionate about your folk culture. I appreciate it as much as you do, and it's not fading away at all. But the possibilities for performing Yatra, I'm talking of practical thing now, the possibilities for Yatra to flourish, to be able to be performed, is fading away. And I think nobody in this room can disagree with me about that, the last years. So my point was that what can you do? What can be done to be able to give these tradition that is a part of the world heritage, as I said, to give the actors, to give the old mythological dramas and new dramas, whatever you say, what could be done to restore the possibilities for this Yatra to continue to flourish? This is the point. And I think because we don't have time, I could speak a long time about this, but I don't need to give so many details about what had happened with Yatra for the Bengali people at least lately. Let's say the last 10, 15 years, when it was totally, the possibilities for the Yatra performance were totally taken away and taken over by the gambling and all these things. I know it's not nice to hear, but this is the situation. And as I said, I think nobody can disagree with me about that.
Can I just make one point? In West Bengal, the Yatra industry is actually, they have the traveling theatre, and a whole caravan travels with about 20 vehicles carrying the entire tent and also modern technical equipment, lighting. So maybe these are the answers that we need in Bangladesh. If West Bengal can translate that.
Yes, it's true, and but as you said, it is changeable. Everything is changeable, and that is really changing, of course, the situation. There's a lot of things to say.
Thank you very much. Now, a few words from Olopak, Professor Olopak. A few words. I think you are not angry, you are not hungry, so you can wait here.
Christina and Mitra, I was surprised to realize how deep is the tradition, coming from the Buddhist times, then the Vaishnava traditions, the Muslim influence, and how it has been adapted to contemporary realities, and how it is changing. So it was just a good example of this continuity and dynamics of change and the vernacular creativity in folklore. And the second paper by Dr. Lorna Marion, it was just such a surprise to realize the power of pluralism and traditions, and the richness of this religious syncretism, different religions together, but also, well, let's take the example of the ethnic tradition of this Behula and Lakinda, something, it connects also to realize again its connection with, but it's exactly the direction where international folkloristics is moving, understanding the variation, the power of variation in tradition and the complexity of the cultural world of expression that we are living in. And the third paper by Dr. Simon Zakaria, also an amazing example of the power of tradition to get a glimpse of these performances and to see the depth of the study and both the
We want to listen a few words from Professor Henrik Lasnik as well. Within 10 minutes we'll be finishing everything.
Would make comments that would be much wiser. What strikes me, though, is in the context of today's, for example, the parade that we watched, if we all watched that, what did you see the students representing? They represented two things that were very exciting to me. One is they remembered a great friend of mine, Moran Chand Pal, who died in March and whose objects were represented in that parade. But the other was a vision of a kind of monstrous terrorism. And obviously this monstrous terrorism is a part of the fear in the mind of the student. They can see that while they have a vision of pluralism, that vision of pluralism is challenged. And so there seems to be one of the really exciting things to consider is the way in which we are celebrating pluralism. I've been coming to Bangladesh for 25 years for exactly that reason. This Bangladesh exhilarates me because the two most different theological traditions in world history have monotheistic and a radically polytheistic religion could not only coexist, but in fact blend together to create what a more important thing that we possibly be celebrating at this moment, but we have to recognize that it's threatened. And so I spend a great deal more time in Turkey than I do in Bangladesh. And let me tell you that the rhetoric there is identical. The story that is everybody recognizes the reality of Sufism in a country that's almost 100% Muslim, and they celebrate the great Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, but they recognize that on the horizon there's a cloud of an alternative possibility. It's a very minor possibility in Turkey, it's a very minor possibility, statistically speaking, in Bangladesh, but it is a reality. The glory of pluralism is what is this thing to celebrate in this country, but it also is not unthreatened. And it seems to me that our celebration of it is to a great extent a response to a recognition of that threat. And I was interested to only say that we are in a mood of celebration, and we ought to be. At the very same time, we have to be fearful, because those people who are those who are threatening that pluralism are themselves threatened by the monstrosity of my nation. It's that simple. Any nation that would just simply decide, out of pure fundamentalism, to bomb Baghdad and murder the complex situation. That is to say, Ronald Reagan began this mess. He bombed Gaddafi's home. It was Islam. And he dragged a great many Americans with him, fundamentalist Americans, mad Americans. And what did they do? They generated the terrorism that is now...
Three scholars who gave different presentations from different mindsets and from different perspectives. Okay? And then you see all the scholars who justified their without deformation, without mutilation of folklore. If it is done, folklore will survive. To my mind, there is only one, you see, expression in Bangladesh, which you will never see anywhere. All other expressions, I find that this is thriving like anything. This is how people will thrive plurally, and we will not live alone. With these few words, I thank you all again. This wonderful seminar, the fate is all.
কোয়ালিফাই করে এখানে তার মধ্যে একটি ছেলে আছে ওর নাম গৌতম গৌতম
তো আমাদের খুবই ভালো যদিও আমরা
They are not eating money.
Rather, talking on all the 5 speeches or writings that we delivered here. And at the end of the program, I'm a singer, as I said.
Thank you, thank you.
এখন আমাদের যে কথাগুলো হবে সেগুলো বাংলাতেও হবে ইংরেজিতেও হবে আর যদি কেউ বলেন যে না আমি ভাই বাংলাও জানি না ইংরেজি জানি নোয়াখালীতে বলবো সেটাও অ্যালাউড চারিগনিয়ানে বলবো সেটাও অ্যালাউড বাট ট্রাই টু বি স্পেসিফিক বি ব্রিফ and be businessman like. It's a business session and I like to first of all thank the Bengali Academy for choosing such a very ordinary person like me to chair these sessions. I do not deserve it, but I know that amongst all the people present here, there may be few who are lovers of this. I am one of them. And Mr. Shamsuddin Khan, he telephoned me a few days ago. He said, Abbaji bhai, very difficult to have a Folklor conference. Somehow I have managed, you must come. So I have taken 2 hours to come here. I would take any more of your time. And I call upon the first contributor. It's a very important subject, very interesting. Belief in the evil eye. আমাদের বাচ্চাদের যখন ছোট ছিলাম তখন আমাদের কপালে একটা ফোঁটা দেওয়া হতো তো আমার মা বলতেন যে আমার সবচেয়ে সুন্দর ছেলেটা আমার নাম ছিল তুলু ডাকতেন বড় ভাইয়ের নাম দুলু আমার নাম তুলুই হবে আর ছোট বোন মিন্না তো আমি যখন আমি খুব সুন্দর ছিলাম এখন যেরকম আমার বান্দরের মতো লাগে সেরকম আমি ছিলাম না তবে আমি বান্দর একেবারে বান্দর বলা যায় না তো আজকে we are going to listen to none other than Dr. M. Shahinur Rahman. He is a professor of English and the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Islamic University of Kushtia, Bangladesh. Dr. M. Shahinur Rahman. Please welcome him.
Colleagues, foreign delegates, I greet you all in this afternoon on the first day of Bengali New Year. Let us be happy and let us remain happy throughout the year. I had a paper, hard copy, but I don't know where I left it. I left the paper somewhere. So my only thing that I have with me is, and I'll be reading out the paper by means of, There is only means a computer, there is a laptop. Alright, whether we believe or not in evil eye, the reality is that this belief exists in our mind, in the society. Possibly
a museum devoted exclusively to the language movement, and the second one already established, but we have to develop that museum, and then a National Museum of Literature and Writers, then a Sport Heritage Museum will happen December 1971. So this is a very challenging task which we completed. Now another challenge, this one. So how am I going to do this? We will choose some sectors. It need not be because of limitations of space. It will not be a very big museum. But that's why we will choose, for instance, decorative metalwork of Bangladesh. The Jamdani and Jamdani.
The rickshaw is a human-propelled transport on free and absolutely pollution-free transport of Bangladesh. It is also the most popular mode of transport for short distances. Rickshaws are seen in all cities, towns and suburbs throughout Bangladesh. Rickshaws are more numerous in cities than in towns or suburbs. Here in Kumilla town, rickshaws are much fewer compared to Dhaka city. Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh, is the city of rickshaws. This young couple enjoys riding a rickshaw. They've got this one, a gorgeous eye. They're gossiping as the rickshaw puller goes on. Importantly, the rickshaws brighten the streets. Every new rickshaw is a blaze of colors and paintings. Rickshaw painting. Every part of the rickshaw is decorated. The overall effect is spectacular. It is, however, not for overall decoration, but this is a rickshaw workshop owned by Muhammad Shahabuddin. A renowned rickshaw mystery in Dhaka city. He is popularly known as Tikka Mystery. Are imagined by the rickshaw artists themselves. The themes include natural imagery, birds and animals, creative depictions of heroes or movie stars, historical events. Rafiqul Islam is a master artist. He has been painting thematic pictures on backplates of rickshaws since 1984. Alauddin Ahmed, his maternal uncle, was his mentor.
Rich and enlightening about our museology and things, related things developing here. And now, as the chair finds it suitable, we may go for inviting comments and questions individually at this gap.
There may be overlaps, you see, and that will be tested proper.
Things taken together.
Yeah.
comes from English, a Bangla word meaning 21. Ekushe literally means the 21st day. Historically, Ekushe means the 21st day of February in the year of 1952. This day is a landmark in the history of Bangladesh, as it symbolizes the climax of the language movement that gave birth to Bengali nationalism. Let me first give the historical background of Ekushe. At its inception in August 1947, Pakistan was geographically divided into two parts, with Indian territory lying in between. The eastern wing, called East Bengal, contained the majority of the population of the new country. They were mostly the Bengalis, and their mother language was Bangla, one of the rich literary languages of the world. Bangla has its own script. The only other literary language of Pakistan was Urdu, which was spoken by a small minority. Urdu happened to be the language of the ruling Qatari, centered mostly in the western wing of Pakistan. Its script was Arabic. To the utmost disappointment of the Bengalis of East Bengal, the central government tried to impose Urdu as the sole state language among the majority. The Bengalis demanded Bangla to be recognized as one of the state languages of Pakistan. Not only was this genuine demand denied, the ruling Qatari even attempted to abolish the Bangla state to facilitate the imposition of Urdu among the Bengalis. As a result, a language movement began in Dhaka city on 6th December 1947, and it had spread beyond this city to all the urban centers throughout East Bengal by 1948. The language movement gained momentum on 11 March 1948. It reached its climax in Dhaka city on 21st February 1952. To thwart this language movement on 21st February 1952, the ruling Qatari enforced Section 144, while the political parties decided not to violate Section 144. The students came out on the streets in processions, shouting slogans in support of Bangla. The police resorted to tear gassing, hitting with batons, and finally firing, killing an unknown number of people, injuring hundreds of demonstrators, and arresting and torturing thousands of activists. Amidst the agony of Ekushe, the students became more vociferous and the handguards of their mother language. They carried on the language movement until it engulfed all sections of the Bengali population in a couple of years. The Bengalis felt a sense of unity to safeguard their mother language. This language-centered unity became the most powerful vehicle of cultural expression, which manifested in multiple ways, in the music, drama, and painting, in Alpuna, a kind of floor decoration, and colorful banners. Ekushe thus became a powerful national discourse election of 1954. More importantly, the language movement gave birth to Bengali nationalism with tremendous vigor and resilience for the relentless struggle of the people of East Pakistan for their cultural emancipation and political freedom. This struggle led confined to the students. Ekushe gradually became a powerful national discourse and has now become a national festival with the effervescence of both joy and sorrows. On this day, each year Ekushe is celebrated. Let us see a video to get a pictorial view of the celebration.
Evilai was well recognized and by incantation and excantation or fascination. Children, sacred writings or amulets were worn to deflect the Evilai because envy was believed that unlucky to have oneself or one's belongings praised, so that the use of some qualifying phrase such as God will or God thanks or hung up with camels and horses by our Chinese and feared the Jetator or owner of the Evilai. It still seems to retain its potency. Protective amulets, most commonly in the shape of horns, forks, moons and hands are worn. Modern Egyptians' mothers may excuse the sickly appearance of their babies by blaming it on the side of the houses to preserve their inmates. Sometimes we find paintings on the walls of the houses. Survivals of the widespread superstition are found in Western Europe as well as other parts of the world. It is interesting to note that although men are now more commonly attributed with the Evilai, in former times women were common possessors. I'm not going to read all of the lines, but let me see. So the term is explained as the supposed power of bewitching or harming by spiteful looks attributed to certain persons as a natural endowment. The belief that a glance can damage life and property is widespread among both savage and civilized peoples. This belief was also held by the Jews in biblical times. The superstitions of the Middle Ages were the same as those of the Talmud period, with the exception that at a later epoch the Jews had more remedies against the influence of the evil plans. Prominent men are peculiarly susceptible to the Evilai. Children are especially susceptible to the influence of the Evilai. On account of their beauty, they arouse the envy of the mothers of other children who cast upon them their evil glances. In olden times, children were not taken to the wedding feast for fear of the evil in the crowd. Adults wear rings and beads of amber on a string around the neck as a protection against the evil eye. So these are the examples. Now, even we have our song, that is songs. In songs even we use the words evil eye. For example, just one translated in English from Hindi song. She has the sail from her home in the likeness of a deer. Her dupatta you know, is dangling from her head. May Allah save her from the evil eye. She is so beautiful, her lock of hair is so good. Oh God, save her from the evil eye. That is the kind of belief. So here you see in all sections of our society, possibly belief in evil eye exists. So now I'm not going to explain it, but I'll try to just talk about the essential reason of why I have tried to write this essay. This paper has primarily been to raise the issue of belief in evil eye in different situations and contexts in the world, with a view to understanding how the belief in evil eye is usually considered to be activated by envy. So after this point, I'm ending, and my last word about it is that sometimes we do not want to believe in evil eye, but the thing is that this belief exists. Thank you very much. Thank you.
পাঠ করতে পারেনি কারণ এটা প্রায় 1 ঘন্টা এবং আগে তাকে আমি একটা সংকেত দিয়েছিলাম যে আমরা এখানে যারা এসেছি তারা সবাই পার্টিসিপেট করতেছি। আমাদের সবারই কিছু কিছু ভালো থাকতে পারে, আপনাকে প্রশ্ন করতে পারে, আপনাকে আরো মজার কিছু বলবেন।
মাইক্রোফোনের মতো থাকে, সেখান থেকে বিকট একটা আওয়াজ বেরোচ্ছে, বলে এটা কিসের আওয়াজ আপনি বুঝতে পারছেন। কিন্তু আজকে আমি খুব আনন্দিত যে ডক্টর যে শাহিনুর রহমান এত ইন্টারেস্টিং একটা সাবজেক্ট he has presented to us that we had no scope at all to go for that sort of atmosphere. I'm quite sure that it has been interesting, and the reason I stopped him was this will in any case be available to us in the form of a journal or whatever. Normally নিয়ম হলো ফোকলোর কনফারেন্সে আমরা এগুলো আগে পেয়ে যাই, যে যাদের পাঠ করা হবে এবং পরে এসে ওই যে ভদ্রলোক বলবেন তাকে মোক্ষম জায়গায় ধরে ফেলুন যে তুমি যে বলছো এটা ফোকলোরের সঙ্গে কানেকশন, যে এই কোরআন হাদিস বাইবেল এগুলো তো ফোকলোর বটে, কিন্তু এগুলো তো আসলে ফোকলোর না। তুমি ভাওয়াইয়া গান থেকে কিছু বার করতে পারো কিনা? কত হিন্দি গানের কথা বললেন না, তেরি কালি কালি जुल्फ में किसी की नजर न लगे, किसी की नजर ना लगे, चश्मे बद्दूर। चश्मे बद्दूर হচ্ছে সবচেয়ে বড় কথা। Those who have gone to Persia, those who have gone to Turkey, you know the Turkish girls are most beautiful. You shouldn't mind if I say they're beautiful when I'm 75. They are really beautiful. And then everyone wears something like this. You know what it is? এটা আপনারা জানেন এটা কি বলে? Any idea? না, ফিরোজা। হ্যাঁ, এটা অনেক দাম, আমি বলতে চাই না দামটা, কিন্তু আমার ওয়াইফ আমাকে কিনে দিল। তাই বললেন তুমি আমাকে কিনে দিলে এই এতদিন পরে? বলে হ্যাঁ, তোমার দিকে অনেকের নজর আছে, এই জন্যে তোমাকে এই ফিরোজাটা কিনে দিলাম। এটা দাম $100 ছিল। তো আমিও কম না, আমি দেখো তুমি এখনো শুনবি, আমি তোমাকে একটা কিনে দিই, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে তাকেও একটা কিনে দিলাম। সবচেয়ে বেশি হচ্ছে এটা অ্যাভেলেবল ইন পার্সিয়া। When I was in Iran, they had a certain sort of an eye, ওটাকে evil eye বলে, এবং it is available এবং cost is very high. তো যাই হোক, আমি অত্যন্ত খুশি যে খুব ভালো একটা প্রবন্ধের দেখা পেলাম আমরা, এবং আমি চাচ্ছি I want that some of you should come up with 1 or 2 questions to the professor. He will be happy, we will be happy. Please come up. Any question? যদি না হয় বুঝবো স্যার আপনার ঘুমিয়ে পড়েছেন। না, সেটাও হতে পারে। Yeah, Dr. Mia Zaman, I'm sure she listened to you. Would you please come here?
Or you can take it.
Thank you. Since you asked me to ask the question, I'll ask you.
অনেক ধন্যবাদ। But I is apart from a কালো ভোটা, যে কালোটি, এটা ছাড়া বাংলাদেশে আর